see the young receivers falling in line and being able to be productive and not have to necessarily worry about feeding or featuring, AB or Le'Veon Bell. That did something I could tell to his psyche. And so now that he doesn't have to, I think he threw the ball to 8 or 9 different people who caught passes, Jacoby. He was hitting whoever was open. He was literally just dialing in, and he was picking the Cowboys apart, and I wasn't surprised.
He was, and I do want to give a shout to Garrett Gilbert, who played pretty well for the Cowboys, but when they needed someone to step up, they had a problem with penalties on defense. Jalen, you saw it, you mentioned it. What do you think?
So if you look at the stat sheet, it's like, well, they had, less than 10 penalties. Well, any penalties is too much. But of the ones that they got in particular, they extended drives for the Steelers and gave them an opportunity to actually win the game when the Cowboys, like you mentioned, were playing so well, gave themselves a chance to win. They outrushed the Steelers. They were in position to, but those bad penalties at inopportune times cost them the game.
Now, not only was the Steelers having to come from behind against the trash Dolphins a reason for concern, Big Ben did something that Big Ben does pretty often, which is get hurt, but stay in the game and hobble around and be successful. Jalen, how concerned are you about Big Ben's health moving forward?
You said trash Dolphins. What I know you meant trash Cowboys. But either way, he's an older quarterback, and you talked about not being mobile. Of course, he's mobile within the pocket, and Tom Brady can be, and Drew Brees can be, but it's a different level of mobility in the game when you have guys like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. And so therefore, him standing upright and trying to shred tacklers at some point and people rolling into his leg, you might have to prepare for him to miss a couple of games. That's why it's important that when you don't play your best against teams like the Cowboys, you still find a way to win.
Whenever we discuss the Steelers, we say they're going to be great in the playoffs if Big Ben is healthy, and that still feels like the caveat that needs to be said every time we bring up the Steelers. Well, every time we bring up Patrick Mahomes, there's a question that comes to mind, Jalen. What's that question?
Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes was at it again, coming off a 5 TD performance. He had 4 TDs in this one. Jalen, what do you think?
Eric B for president. That's what I think. Eric B for president. You see the plays they dialing up, dog? Did you see Mahomes in the back? Look, here it is. Look at this. Don't act like you've seen this before. I haven't. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's just not fair. That's not fair, Jacoby. That is not fair. Look at that. Mahomes was in motion. Come on, dog. Come on. He out here playing with Eric B. and Mahomes is out here playing with Cat. And also, there's a lot of conversations about top receivers in the game. Y'all better put some respect on the Cheetah name. I know when we think of top receivers, you want to think of a prototype, and rightfully so. Certain amount of height, line up on one side. But the Cheetah gives you that. He gives you that electricity and that game-breaking ability. So to have him and Mahomes, and then you unlock Kelsey and so many other weapons. I mean, look at Jacoby. Look at that play. Hey, dog. Come on, man. It's not even fair.
I do want to celebrate the Panthers for keeping this one close, and I also want to point out what Christian McCaffrey did in this game. Coming off a pretty bad injury, he's been out for weeks. He touched the ball 28 times. Like, they were not trying to slowly work him back into the offense. He went for over 150 yards and gave the Panthers a shot against the Super Bowl Chiefs. I love what they did with him, and we will also celebrate a play from Teddy Bridgewater later. You will not want to miss that. But right now, we have to go to another AFC powerhouse. That is the Ravens, who are playing another good AFC team. The Colts did not start well for the Ravens. Looked like an upset was brewing, but then Lamar Jackson turned it on in the second half.
He did turn it on in the second half. And the one thing about Lamar that is going to have to happen ultimately, I think, if they're going to win the Super Bowl, is you look down at the stat sheet and the receivers put up some gaudy numbers every now and then. Because the last couple of weeks, teams have been suffocating Andrews in the middle, and Lamar did a great job of being accurate yesterday and running the football. But to me, that's really what's going to unlock their offensive attack.
Both great AFC teams, the Ravens and the Steelers, came away with wins, but also gave a little reason for concern. Now, Jalen, San Diego Chargers, they don't just lose games. They lose games on the last play in spectacular fashion, and yesterday was no difference against division rival Raiders. This was the final play that they actually celebrated the touchdown on, only to have it overturned in time. How heartbreaking is this for the Chargers?
That's heartbreaking. I thought that was a touchdown, and I thought Peters in the other game for the Ravens was not an interception. They're the Los Angeles Chargers, but I see the football. That is not a catch. That's a great call by the officials. That's a great call by the officials. How about this? That's the curse of what happened to Tyrod Taylor. He's right there in the locker room, too. That's the exact thing that should happen. You see that you got your franchise quarterback. Congratulations. But we're going to make sure he loses in heartbreak fashion for what you did to Tyrod. That's just karma. That's all.
It's tough. It is so tough. And one question I have for is, why was he celebrating like that? Like, you know you didn't catch it. You know in your heart of hearts you didn't catch it. You know they're going to replay it and overturn it. Why are you celebrating like that? You cannot fake the replay officials with the premature celebration. I've got a piece of video. The best thing that happened on a field last weekend was a missed tackle. I cannot wait to show it to you, Jalen Rose. Stay tuned. Matchup between two very dynamic and exciting quarterbacks, and it lived up to all the hype. It was eventually Tua and the Dolphins that would win this one just by a couple feet of a field goal, but Tua played great. Let's celebrate the young man from Alabama.
And when you're talking these two teams on a national stage, it's normally going deeper into the box score because normally they don't make the cut based on the big-time national names. And so to have these two guys playing under center, the most important position in football, for Miami to basically, for public consumption, to have what's considered a no-name defense, and then all of a sudden have won 3 straight, 2 with their phenom rookie quarterback that's a lefty, one of the 40 lefties to start in the NFL's history at the position, and for him to have those dynamic runs like that in the fourth quarter just makes me wish we'd have drafted him. It just makes me wish that we would have drafted him.
I know. We'll discuss that in a second.
That's all it makes me do. It just makes me wish we'd have drafted him.
This really should have gone into overtime. There was a 49-yard field goal that was missed short. But let's celebrate Kyler Murray, because when Kyler Murray tucks and runs, he is just so quick, so fast, so crafty with the jukes. He's impossible to take down. He ran for over 100 yards, and he's ran for over 60 yards in 6 games. Like, listen, I'm not going to overreact, but I'm going to overreact a little bit. He's challenging Lamar Jackson for the best running quarterback in the league. I'm not saying he's the best running quarterback in the league, but he is challenging Lamar Jackson for that title, because while he did lose this one, it was close, and Kyler Murray did everything that he needed to put his team in a position to win. Now, Jalen, it was a great day. It was a great weekend, to be honest with you, but there's something that we really need to discuss. It's going to be hard for you, okay? It's intervention time, Jalen.